So today I actually named the video something different because we're past the 5 days of one video that we have been living through for the past 5 days. I say it like it was tedious. It's not tedious by any means. It was a really good sequence of videos, but now we get to move on. And so anyway, here I'm going to play with something while I'm talking because that's me. But Nora has these little erasers that you can take apart and put back together. Aren't they fun? Anyway, so what I'm talking about today is like what's coming up, right? And for some of you guys, you already know that when I get a wild hair and I'm like, I want to start doing something, I get very excitable and what? You need your water? Your water isn't in here. Yeah, it is. Okay, well let's wait for Nora. Okay. Okay. Love you, baby. This is what happens when we work from home, right? Sometimes there's water in the room that you're going to spend 10 minutes in, and obviously she's going to die of thirst in 10 minutes. So anyway, I'm just saying. So sometimes, I mean, a lot of you guys, if you've been following me longer than 5 minutes, you already know this, but I get an idea, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to be so good. And then I double down and just see it all the way through, right? And so this is the beginning stages of that. So you guys actually get to be on the very first beginning stages of the next thing that is coming up, right? It's something that I used to do a long time ago, and then quite frankly, life happened and I got away from it. You know how you start doing things, or I did it for a while, but you kind of get away from it because just, you know, 1 week you had to do something else and then it leads to another week and so on and so forth. It's like little changes kind of get you off track. Well, that's honestly what happened, right? And so what I'm doing, you guys, is not only am I coming back online, coming back on track, but I'm doing it in a way that is so incredibly life-changing for you guys, right? And so Mike and my goal, we sat down yesterday, was a goals day for us. So if you and your significant other don't sit down and talk about your family goals, your life goals, if you don't do that ever, please do it. It's a very cool conversation to have. You're going to find out things about your significant other and their dreams, their desires, things like that. But then also you're a team and you're working together towards a thing, right? And you guys, you know, you see me on video all the time, but that doesn't mean that Mike isn't very much alive inside of what we do, right? Especially in the point where we're setting up these goals, where he holds me accountable to the goals, right? I mean, if that's the only thing he does, which is absolutely not, he does much more than that, but if that's the only thing he does, guys, that is enough, right? Accountability to somebody that you love more than anything, right? And so anyway, we're talking about goals yesterday, and we were just kind of sitting there, and when we talk about goals, there's family goals, there's things like that. But then we got to the section where it's the goals for our people. And it's the goals for our people that are already here, and it's the goals for our people that will be coming, right? And so as we went over those goals, we set a goal back in 2022, I think, because it was a 5-year. So yeah, 2022. That we would have freed, and the definition for freedom in this sentence here is make it so people don't have to work their 9-to-5 job, that they can be home with their kids and they can do what they want to from that point. We want to give people options. We want people to look at, you know, what's happening out in the world and to be able to say, I choose something different. And I can do something different. And so now I'm going to do something different, right? And then have that something different be the thing that we teach which then means that something different isn't just an aside from like what happens in the normal world, but it's also massive impact in their communities, right? So it's like a twofer, you know? And so our goal, going back to that, is that we want to have freed 1 million families by 2027. And we've done a darn good job of it so far. Now we've got till 2027, and I'm like, okay, well, here's how many months we have left, because I break it down like that. I'm like, realistically, if you want to accomplish a goal, if you want to get something done, you have to be very, you need to be able to break it up like that, right? So I'm like, okay, here's how many months we have left. Here's how many weeks we have left. And so here's the activities we need to do. And then, we'll reassess at this point. And then we'll bob and weave, because you go for a short time, you reassess what's working, what's not working, what do we keep, what do we change, right? And then you keep moving forward. And so we set those up. And guys, I have the next year of content planned out and ready for you in my Families Creating Legacies group, okay? If you're not in that group, the link is in the description of this video, and the caption of this video depends on where you're watching it. It's going many places at once. But it's called Families Creating Legacy. Yes, it's a Facebook group, but it's a Facebook group that you're actually going to learn from. And I'm going to be doing a weekly training, free weekly training in there every week. Duh. So I'm going to be doing a training in there every single week, and they're not going to be throwaway trainings. They're not going to be trainings that you could just Google. They're not going to be that sort of trainings. It's going to be trainings with nuance, trainings with things in it that I know that you need to know, that you may not realize you need to know yet. Because there's what you're aware of right now, and then there's the reality of what the path looks like, of what the situations look like, of where you're going, what you're doing, what should be set up, all of that stuff. And so we have a full year, 52 weeks of trainings planned, and they start next Wednesday. They will be every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard. And like I said, they're free, so you just jump into the group. They're going to go live in the group. But then also what I've decided to do is they're going to have a Zoom link as well. So if you want to hop on with me, because sometimes people just like to be able to see who's talking, like on a Zoom, and I like to see you guys. I mean, I selfishly like to see you guys. I like to see your faces. I like to see when you get it. I like to see where it hits. I like to see question marks on your face, so I know I need to double down a little bit more in that concept, right? That's the kind of stuff as a teacher I love to be able to see. I don't want to talk at you. I want to talk with you, right? And so there's also Zoom links, but just know, whenever the Zoom is capped out, and if there's too many people on the Zoom and you can't make it, it's still in the families group, okay? And then it lives there. It'll live in the guides section forever and ever, amen, okay? So anywho, that is going to turn into a massive library of sorts of information and things that you need that you don't know that you need. Okay, that's my goal, because I could teach what everybody else is teaching, but that's not really helpful, right? It's not really helpful. What I could teach you even what you're asking me for, and I do that in some capacity, but in this place, I'm not even doing that. In this place, what I'm going to be teaching is not what you're asking, but what I know that you need, okay? So this isn't even for SEO or anything like that. I'm going to teach you what I know that you need that you may not even be aware of, okay? So that's the important stuff here. So anyway, just wanted to let you guys know what's coming up. I love you. I'm going to see you later. Adios.